And it's Hugo Martin. That's the whole video. Alright, that obviously isn't the whole video, but goddamn, dude, it basically could be. In 2016, Hugo was the creative director for Doom 2016. The game was amazing, and that was it. He showed up in some no-clip documentaries, and he was great fun to listen to, and he seemed nice to talk to, but again, that was it. I remember he showed up on the trail leading up to the release of Doom Eternal and gave a few more interviews to no-clip and places like that, but that was it. After Eternal came out, he showed up on that IGN Developers Watch Speedruns of Their Games thing with a few other people. That was kind of it. That was all he was really doing. For the most part, not doing anything that other developers weren't already doing. But even in these early days, Hugo had something really neat going on. The guy would name drop people.
John Lane this time did this awesome concept where he really steered into it, and it has, instead of like 2 fangs like the Cacodemon has, it has like, you know, tons of them. There's like 6 or 7. You know that a concept is there when you can almost hear it. Like when John made this drawing, I feel like when you looked at it, I could even hear the sounds that he would make, which I thought was really cool. Arachnotron, designed by Alex Palma, modeled by Jason Martin, our lead character artist. A very good friend of mine, someone I've worked with for a really long time.
No relation?
No, no relation.
Whenever this guy talked, it was all we and us and specific individuals other than himself and what they're doing to make the game. How many AAA game devs are doing that? I feel like it isn't many, right? I could be wrong, but if you left it there, I feel like Hugo would already be a special case. And then he started streaming the game. Now those first things that he was doing, they already separated him from like 75% of AAA game devs, but the streaming separates him from like 99% of AAA game devs. I'm not saying none of those other guys play their games, I'm sure they do, but how many of them stream it? How many streams of Skyrim did Todd Howard do? I'm not talking shit about him or anybody else, for sure, they can do what they want, but the difference is, there's hours of live content of Hugo just playing Doom. We can watch him go from the first level to the final level in order, and we can see him like chat with chat, and die to his own shit and get pissed off like a normal guy does.
Blood punch? No!
What did it think?
That pinky! Dude, pinkies are top tier. We have changed the meta. Pinkies are top tier.
There's no bullshit with these streams, it's not all sanitized, and it doesn't feel like one big advertisement. He's just fucking playing Doom. This is someone who not only plays his game, but genuinely is involved with and loves the playing of his game. I mean, the guy wears his Doom shirts out to dinner. You might be thinking that kind of thing can be unhealthy, and I'd agree. Sometimes if a dev doesn't keep a sort of arm's length approach to their community, shit can go wrong extremely fast. It can foster a sort of weird parasocial relationship and cause people to act like a freak. But then the Ancient Gods Part 2 came out and everybody was complaining. It was a weird, extremely emotionally charged time to be a Doom fan, and it wasn't really nice to witness. But then I saw something I've never seen before in my life. Everybody just stopped. Everybody in the community just like turned around and went, hey, we're jeopardizing a really nice relationship with the developer and we're being fucking weird, and they just stopped. And after that, Hugo Martin was making fucking jokes about it on Facebook. And then after all of this, he just shows up on Under the Mayo's YouTube channel. He's weighing in on meme drama about the full auto shotgun, and then he's on a live stream with Bloodshot watching 3 different speedruns of the game and co-commentating. Whilst I was writing this, he shows up on Alston's channel and just chats for a bit. He's getting tagged in bug showcase videos on Facebook and talking about them. It's like, am I going insane? Or can anybody else see this guy? Is this real? Is this a real fucking guy who works for a AAA games dev studio, or am I having a fucking dream? Because I haven't seen a game dev that interacts with their community on this level since like fucking when TF2 was updated regularly, but even then Valve was nowhere near this level. Speaking of Valve, can you imagine if Valve was as open and human and communicative with their community as id Software is right now? Imagine if they just made it known that they were listening, paying attention, or at least just aware of the fucking discussion. Can you imagine how much nicer that shit would be? Valve came back in 2020 and dropped a Half-Life game and then showed up on IGN Speedrun thing. They did an interview thing, and that was really cool too. It was the biggest, coolest, most open thing that Valve had done in years. And what since then? Since then, TF2 has been infested with bots, and there's been nary a word. id came back in 2016, dropped a brand new Doom game, came back in 2020, dropped another one, and since then they've just been talking and interacting and kidding around and making memes and playing the fucking game. Imagine a Twitch stream of Gabe Newell running around in the Index. Wouldn't happen. Now imagine Hugo Martin doing some late night battle mode streams. Not even far-fetched. If I told you he did that, you would believe me. You know what's crazy about this whole thing? Id, right now, it's a special case. Sure. Of course. But what Hugo's doing, whether intentionally or otherwise, is actually continuing a long tradition of communication that id Software used to do all the way back in the 90s. You know who came to mind instantly when I said, this is someone who not only plays his game, but genuinely is involved with and loves the playing of his game. I mean, the guy wears his Doom shirts out to dinner. John Romero. The guy played Deathmatch non-stop. He designed a game that he wanted to play, and he played his fucking game so much that he fell out with everybody at id and ended up having to leave. And you know who came to mind when I said, since then they've just been talking and interacting? John Carmack. The plan files. The updates from id coming straight from the desk of John Carmack, posted on forums for everyone to read. Hugo, Marty, and the team at id in general have brought back the glory days of id Software's games with Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. And now they've brought back the glory days of id Software's communication and community interaction. It's really fucking weird and awesome to see a game development studio care this much. So I made this video right here to remind everybody about that. That this is a special case and we should appreciate it while it lasts. So, thanks Hugo, and thanks id. It's the best video gaming community I've seen in fucking years, and it's due in great part to a light-hearted and fun relationship with the developers, and constant community interaction, and awareness. There's no tone-deaf bullshit trying to squeeze every penny out of us, like when a game adds a really requested feature and makes it extremely complicated and confusing and fucking annoying. Alright, that's the whole video. I didn't really have anything else to say, I just kind of wanted to talk about this because it's insane to me. Okay? Cool. Go have a good day, but no matter what you do, remember this. There's one glory kill on the fucking carcass, and it's really hard to get. You have to look at this piece of metal specifically, and you can get it. It's a piece of shit to activate, but it's pretty cool. No. No! That's clearly not... For fuck's sake. There we go. Fucking yay.